Hey guys, long time no see. I know at least two of you have been wondering where I've been, why so many streams, what happened to the Build Like a Nerd series, and so on. I'm going to explain a bit about why I've been absent, but first I'd like to set up this build a little bit. So, explain what you're seeing, explain what's going on behind the scenes, then more build commentary. If you don't care about the middle bit, that's totally cool, and I have chapters in the video for your viewing convenience. So I figured I would do a speed build just to catch you guys up to date, new year, new information, what's going on, blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes. And I had a vision. All right, I wanted to do sort of like a suburban homestead type thing, but just a little one. Nothing too crazy. I wanted to build it in Willow Creek. I wanted it to fit in with the Willow Creek vibes, but bring in some cottage living stuff with chickens, bring in some planter boxes, Again, nothing too crazy. I wanted it to be something that I could feasibly handle myself with my own limitations. So just like a little bit of a garden, suburban home, renovated, personalized, but nothing too crazy. Like we're not doing hot pink siding here today. I know some of you are disappointed. I apologize, but that was like the general vision. But then I realized there weren't really any homes in Willow Creek already that I wanted to renovate, which means I had to build a house to renovate before I could record the renovation speed build. So that's what you see right now, is me struggling to build a home in Willow Creek. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind when I build in Willow Creek is a shotgun style home. If you're not familiar with this style, I did actually do a Build Like a Nerd. This was one of the original Build Like a Nerd videos, was the shotgun style home. And I think it's the fourth one I uploaded, but I think it was actually the first one I ever recorded. Either the first or the second. So like, it's not the best quality, but it is a pretty short video. So if you want to know more about the history of the shotgun style home, you can watch that, or you can just listen to me talk about it a little bit here. The reason that I wanted to go with this for Willow Creek is, first of all, there are a lot of shotgun style homes already in the world, but Willow Creek is supposedly based on New Orleans, the New Orleans area. And I say supposedly because, like, let's be real, The Sims basing anything on reality is just not a good look. We have many gripes with EA and what they choose to do, but it is supposed to be New Orleans based, and New Orleans is not exactly the birthplace of the shotgun style home, but it is very well known for their shotgun style architecture. They have a lot of these homes, and I should probably explain a little bit, especially before somebody gets mad and reports me to YouTube or whatever. What am I talking about? I'm not building like a weapon here, obviously. We're building a home. The general concept of a shotgun style home is you open the front door, and you could open every door in the house if there are doors. Sometimes it's a long hallway, sometimes it's a series of doors. You could shoot a gun right through the house and not hit a wall. Now a shotgun, obviously, that has like a spray to it, and it spreads out. Don't do that. Okay, don't test this theory. It's a theory. I don't know why it's not called a rifle house, honestly. I feel like that would make more sense to me. But then maybe that's something else I just haven't built yet. Anyway, but that's the general idea. So you open the door, you go into the living space, you then either open a door into the next room, which would be dining or bedroom, depending on the size of the home. And then it could also be a hallway again, or you just keep going down the hall. And the hallway or a row of doors is all along one side, just straight shot through. Front door to back door, just a tube with rooms on one side. Long, narrow house to fit long, narrow lots. Now, generally, they're not connected like this, so these two homes being directly connected, I believe this would be a row home configuration. I believe the differentiation between row homes and townhomes has to do with the sequence of them. I think it's a row home if it's 4 or less, and then a townhome if it's 4 or more. I think. I have not done a full Build Like a Nerd video on that yet, so I haven't, read through my usual dozen articles to build out a script. This is just me rambling a little bit to give you some context as to what you're seeing and why. Anyway, so this particular orientation isn't exactly a classic, but the vibe I generally had, again, was I wanted to renovate something, but I had to build something to renovate first. So I went for a base game only, a shotgun shell combination. Now there are 2 units. There's the unit on the left, the shorter unit, that is 1 story, 1 bed, 1 bath. Very classic layout though, living, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, dining at the back. The other one is a 2-story, which would have been totally reasonable as well. I believe that these traditionally could be up to 3, maybe 4 stories. Again, if I remember correctly, specifically in the New Orleans area, which Willow Creek is based on, which is why I'm heavy on the emphasis there. I believe that there weren't generally basements because flooding and stuff. plus basements that doesn't mix. We all know this. So, no basements, but they could be multiple stories tall. The very, very old ones, right, like early 1800s, late 1700s, like those really old ones, generally one-story flat roof. But the newer ones, as in later 1800s, those would be multiple stories, have more windows as fire codes were introduced. Dude, the amount of stuff that affects buildings, like you'd think it's just, changing with the times, but fire code, lumber treatments, standardization of other codes, the necessity of indoor plumbing and electric, like so much of this has played so much into how and why we build the houses the way that we do now. And then, don't even get me started on media, like HGTV, hello, that's a massive impact on open spaces, open layout, open concept, whatever. That thing where you can see every room from every room, because it's easier to film in that. So that became really popular on TV, and now we're all cursed with open layouts. I prefer a more segmented layout. Now, I likely, like in real life, wouldn't end up in a shotgun style home simply because they are not common in my area. My area is primarily kit homes from the Sears Roebuck catalog. Those would be the more like middle type housing. And then we do have some newer homes, which would be on the ranch style, mid-century style. And then a few older homes as well, like what's the other really popular style in this area? American Tudor. The American Tudor is pretty popular in this area as well. So I, like real life me, would not move into a shotgun style home simply because they're just not here. It's much more likely I'd end up in a Foursquare or a bungalow. American Tudors are unfortunately a little bit out of my price range because they are very, very cute and everybody wants them. Possibly a ranch, something like that. But set that reality aside. This is The Sims. We can do what we want. So what we want to do is build up this little shotgun home, base game only shell, get it all configured, you know how I like to do, put in the kitchens, bathrooms, all that jazz, put it on the gallery for everybody to enjoy. The lot title for just the shell, just the base game shell, is 2-unit shotgun shell, and I built it on the lot that the, shoot, I forget the name of the household. It's the one in Willow Creek, though, because there's the one with all the roommates in Willow Creek, and there's the one with all the roommates that's based on New Girl that's in Oasis Springs, and this is the Willow Creek one, and I think they're called roomies, but I feel like that's the Oasis Springs family. You'll figure it out. You're smart. I trust you. Anyway, that's where the lot is. It's base game only. It's great. We built it up, and then I was like, okay, but what if I, as a sim, were to move in here with my little sim family? How would I do things, you know? So that's the end goal here. Build up the base game thing. Great, lovely, love it. And then go in with all the packs and like, okay, if I was moving in here with my family today, what would I want? So I had a few priorities and I knew what I wanted. And since I knew that that was the direction I was going, because that was the whole goal of this video, I kind of built this with that in mind. Like I wanted to make sure I would have a space for a main floor guest room because our in-laws are out of state. And their grandparents, and grandparents plus stairs isn't always a great combination. So I wanted to have main floor guest bedroom, you know? So little things like that I did think about when I was putting it together, but I did leave it as 2 separate units because when I do a renovation, I really do like to maintain the integrity of the home, but also personalize it to whoever's going to be in the home. If you've watched any of my rebuild videos, you've seen this. I've done the Goth family home. I did something in the magical world. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've made a video, and I'll explain more about that in a second. I gotta finish yapping about this first. So I do like to maintain structural integrity and not completely remove walls unless it's like really necessary. So I wanted to make it just basic layout, nothing really done to it over the last 100 years or so aside from some indoor plumbing, right? Generally the vibes. So that's on the gallery. And then eventually you're going to watch me start to renovate it to my tastes. I'll explain more in a couple of minutes because we're going to do the middle chapter first. Before we get into it though, because you're going to see this as I'm talking about my problems, I did end up using quite a lot of brown and beige, and I complain about brown and beige so much because I live in a beige box and I'm not allowed to paint anything because we're renting, and it is one of the greatest sadnesses. But The Sims also just doesn't have a lot of the colors and patterns that I like, especially with baseboard and crown molding, which is extremely important to me to have on taller walls. It's a look I really like. So I had to choose. I could either have colors that I liked but a much more modern finish, or I could have colors that maybe I didn't enjoy as much but don't necessarily hate on the walls, right? With some of the beiges and things, but then still have the paneling and the molding and those other aspects that are really important to me to maintain the historical side of things. So you're going to see that. You're going to see me get confused and move stuff around. I'm probably going to cut a lot of the planning part out, honestly. I was moving doors, I was moving kitchen counters, I was back and forth and back and forth. And it just sped up. It just makes for really rough watching when you're switching between levels super duper fast, because what you're seeing here is my recording, except times 6. I just 6-double the speed. So I'll try to cut out some of the rougher bits. Might cut out a couple of the bathrooms, might cut out the 8,000 different window combinations I tried. You know how it goes. You've watched Speedbuilds before. You are an informed consumer, and I respect that about you. So let's talk about me for a minute. Because, what's with the speed build? I don't do a lot of speed builds. You guys know I love talking through my thought process while I'm making the videos. Different styles of videos take a different amount of energy to produce. That's just a fact of the matter. A lot of people, and honestly, if you have this take, I don't care. A lot of people do think that content creation is one of the easier jobs out there, and I can understand why. It's really easy to consume, and you're thinking maybe that if it's easy to consume, it's easy to create, and I could see where that parallel may be drawn, right? No, that's not how this works. Some videos just take more energy than others, and speed builds are generally lower energy because the amount of time that I'm actually talking is about 1/6 the amount of time it took to record the building part, as opposed to talking and recording the whole building thing and then having to edit it a bunch. So the editing time is much shorter. It's just much less time vertical for me, which is really important right now. So that's why we're doing a speed build today. Lower energy requirement, and then I can talk at you guys about stuff. I do know some of you have been asking either through Instagram direct messages, TikTok direct messages, comments on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You guys, I really appreciate you from the bottom of my little exhausted heart. I love and appreciate each and every one of you so very much, and none of this has annoyed me. If I sound annoyed at any part in the video, I am just so tired. But you've been asking where the normal videos are. You've been asking if the Build Like a Nerd series is coming back. What's the next build going to be? Is the Design Like a Nerd series coming back? Am I working with more interior design people to bring more of those videos to you guys? Am I ever going to finish the Disney Princess series? Yes. The short answer is yes, but. So long story short, my blood has no vitamins in it, and it is messing me up. Where did they go? Why did they leave? Will they come back? What does this have to do with this super duper easy job of content creation? These are all great questions. I know you wouldn't be watching this channel if you didn't love details, so I'll be sharing some details because they're fun in a depressing way. However, I am going to warn you ahead of time, I'm only sharing at most about 50% or so of what's going on. Many contributing factors will be omitted for the privacy of others, for my own sanity and not going too far into #SadSamlore, and for my protection, as once something is on the internet and public information, I really can't control where it goes, and there's some stuff that if it got into the wrong family member's hands could and would be easily weaponized against me, and I don't want to deal with that or have my kid caught in the crossfire. However, I've learned a lot about the importance of vitamins and minerals, and I'm totally cool with sharing that bit, so let's talk about some lab results. I try really hard to not be a toxic person, but unfortunately, my body holds on to toxins more than the average human. I actually did receive an official MTHFR genetic mutation confirmation lab thingamajig. I am not going to pronounce that entire gene name because it's a lot, but you can Google it very easily, and I recommend doing that. Anyway, basically, MTHFR genetic mutation means my body does not process B vitamins correctly and therefore struggles to kick out bad stuff literally down to my DNA. If C677T and A1298C mean anything to you, you've probably been down a similar health road, and I'm sorry. This sucks. On the plus side, this was a big piece to the puzzle, this whole vitamin thing and why isn't my body working, and this specific issue, this MTHFR issue, should be able to be reasonably managed by increasing my intake of folate and other vitamins that my body can then use to reduce the homocysteine level in my blood and convert the amino acid into usable components. Cleveland Clinic notes that increased homocysteine levels not only indicate a vitamin imbalance, but very likely also increase the risk of dementia, stroke, and heart disease. No thanks. A properly functioning, or at least properly supported, MTHFR gene also plays an important role in cell repair, liver health, and reducing inflammation. More of that, please. Am I right? Okay, but more of this, less of that means what? What is the actual day-to-day impact? This is what the big question has been for the last couple of years. We're like, why? What does this actually mean? So, what's the actual day-to-day impact? Unfortunately, this issue has been going on for some time, bits and pieces of it, possibly 20 plus years. So a very long time without proper management, and it's definitely been getting worse before it's getting better. So I thought it'd be fun to share some of the vital functions vitamins and minerals play in your body, and we can all appreciate them a little more together. I will not end this with a plug for a multivitamin. I promise. Talk to your doctor. That is not what this is going to turn into. You have my word. So ferritin was at the top of the list. We've all heard of it. My understanding, I'm still confused on this, is it's not the exact same thing as iron, but it is, but it's not, but it is. So they're the same but different. Either way, I'm criminally low in both, so I'm just going to sort of lump iron and ferritin together for the sake of the video. I'm not a doctor. I'm not medically trained. I don't have any sort of degree. I'm relying on Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic and a few other websites and scribbled down doctor's notes, so give me some grace here. As of this video uploading, I will be back in the doctor's office discussing this more, so if I do make any egregious errors that absolutely must be rectified, I will make a pinned comment with time codes, but my understanding is that my low ferritin means low iron. Low iron means iron deficiency anemia. Iron deficiency anemia means fatigue, paleness, which I didn't need any help with, weakness, shortness of breath, dizziness and headaches, accelerated heartbeat, cold hands and feet, altered appetite, and inflammation. Sometimes this can be explained by a lack of blood, such as from a traumatic injury or giving birth. But I do have plenty of blood, so that is good. The level of fatigue, though, is nuts. The amount of time I spend horizontal just to get through the day is frankly embarrassing, and as you can probably guess, it's really hard to spend 10 hours editing a video when you're laying on the couch. I'm also low on magnesium and sodium and every other electrolyte, but anyway, magnesium. You probably know you can take magnesium to help with muscle spasms and soreness. It's common to take before and or after working out for this reason. As an electrolyte, it also plays a major role in nerve communications. If you've been in Alive, you've probably heard about my hands. I'm mad at them constantly for not going where I want them to. It's not their fault per se, but it's really annoying to be clicking a button or putting away socks or getting a glass of water and just missing. It's also really important for your heart, which I don't know if you've heard, but they call that a vital organ for a reason. Whether or not your body is able to properly process magnesium relies heavily on the function of your intestines and kidneys. I don't want to get into too much sad Sam lore here, but based on and due to prior events, mine are kind of messed up, and I really rely on an easy-to-process powdered magnesium that I get from my local health store. It's kind of gross, but I feel so much better when I'm able to take it. What do I mean when? Well, lucky me, on top of all that, I have multiple other factors working against me when it comes to even getting vitamins into my body in the first place. For currently unknown, but we are in the we're working on it phase, I develop new reactions to both flora and fauna seemingly randomly. Some cause severe intestinal pain to the point I can't stand up. Some cause head pain like I have never experienced. Some it's nausea, never has it been anaphylaxis, and all of it is annoying as heck because I literally never know when the next big pain will be. At this point, I avoid or restrict over 50 food items, and that makes it really hard sometimes to find nutritious food that fits within my dietary limitations, is in stock locally or in an online shop I consistently have access to, and isn't a bajillion dollars. I survive on beef, rice, cheese, and Dr. Pepper. Not even kidding. It's ridiculous. Plus, bonus round, I have been diagnosed with a sensory processing disorder. I feel things I shouldn't be feeling, everything's more intense, and some days when it's really bad, I literally cannot stand the sensation of some tastes and textures. My body says no, and I won't go into more details because ew. So anyway, to recap, I am not a doctor. I am working with multiple professionals across multiple disciplines to get to the root of the issue. I am plagued with fatigue, weakness, nerve damage, intestinal pain, lack of balance, and inability to focus, and a dozen more symptoms daily. And all of these are related to not having enough vitamins in my blood, which is just crazy. Like, I know vitamins are important, but the impact long-term vitamin deficiencies have had, it's nuts. And I don't want to get too sad and I don't want to cry, but like, it's a lot. I have too little, or too much, of over 15 elements as of my most recent lab results. We did a more expanded draw and lab more recently, but I won't have those results until after this video has been uploaded. So like I said a minute or two ago, if there's any egregious error in anything that I've said, I will provide a time-stamped pinned comment down below to correct something. Yeah, it's a mess. I just wanted to get my yearly oversharing with, I guess. However, if this isn't enough personal information for you, I highly recommend joining my Best Worst birthday party stream, which I will link below. It's a build challenge stream, and I have it marked as 18+, so I can welcome more horrendous creations and let up on the filter a little. More info will be below. But yeah, I'm really just not doing well. So why tell you? There is a general sentiment on the internet these days of you don't owe anyone anything and you should always put yourself first. Like all things, these statements may be true, but also exist in a gray area. As far as I'm concerned, by beginning to create multiple series on this channel, I have entered a verbal social contract with you, the community, to continue those series or provide a valid reason to discontinue. I should tell you now I'm not discontinuing anything. However, the truth of the matter is I take a lot of pride in my content. I know I'm not the best and only have a few years of experience, but I do have a standard of quality I strive to reach with every piece of edited content, and I am simply unable to reach that standard consistently at this time. I never know what kind of day it will be until I wake up, and even then it could change 3 times before lunch. I think what I'm trying to say is I value the community we have built here so much, and I have to find the balance of taking care of this community by continuing to provide valuable content and a virtual hangout space of sorts, but also take better care of myself, not only for me, but my child and husband who do need me more than you do. Am I dying? Do I have cancer? Am I pregnant? No, and definitely no. Am I going to adjust my content in the short term, to focus more on streaming, which takes much less energy than a full tutorial video? Yes. Do I think TikTok will actually be banned? No, but you should subscribe on YouTube anyway, just to be safe. Am I going to continue with the Build Like a Nerd series and its companion videos? Absolutely, but I can't make promises as to when. Do I regret putting this much personal information on the internet? Time will tell, I suppose. If any of you want to play Armchair Doctor, I can't stop you, but I will remind you there is a lot more happening on my side of the screen that I simply cannot share, and commenting your diagnosis with less than half of the pertinent information isn't a good look. However, I hope that you are able to understand more about why I am so in and out when it comes to videos, and I would love to have you join our Discord. I didn't start this channel with a plan to build community and really just wanted to make some kind of useful roofing videos and stupidly specific tutorials, but you all have been just the loveliest group of people I have ever known, and it's been really nice to chat with you all in the Discord even on the bad days when I can't do anything else. With all that being said, you are here for the building videos and not sad Sam lore, so let's talk about that now. Of course, usually with speed builds, I try to talk about what is happening on screen, but since I decided to do a whole medical bit, I'm just going to ramble a bit about each room, and hopefully the video and audio will line up again eventually. Obviously, I changed up the front of the house a bit, I switched out the windows. You know, I feel like buying an old house, if the windows are original, you really should replace them. Not only are there materials in the glass that we don't use anymore for health and safety reasons, we just have so much better insulation in new windows. But if I have motherload on my side, I can get new windows that are very similar to the original windows, you know, so that fit in my little headcanon that we were working from here. So I did replace the windows. We went with Strangerville. If anybody is surprised, you must be new here. Hi, Strangerville is amazing. It is my favorite build pack, I think, at least among what are those, the game packs, I think? Yeah, so we went to Strangerville windows, nobody's surprised. I did go through a lot of different color options for the outside. I ended up going with quite a bright, springy exterior. I think that fit the Willow Creek vibes pretty well. And then the interior, I did end up going with darker colors just because I prefer the darker, more toned down, sort of jewel tone area family of colors. So generally I try to match the inside and outside, but the dark outside just didn't feel right, and then the bright inside just didn't feel me, you know? I also opted to do a little bit of a sunroom thing where I just wanted to cover one of those small front decks, just isolate it to a one entry only there. I prefer that in a home to just have the one entry, so I closed that in and tried to do a bit of a sunroom thing. And then I don't remember the exact order I did the rooms in. Right now, I'm watching the kitchen. I don't know what you guys are seeing though, because I haven't edited it yet, but that front living room that I expanded, I turned into a family gaming room because obviously I enjoy playing video games. I do mostly cozy games, single player, like farm type games, Sims. I've really been enjoying the Echoes of Plum Grove lately. I've been playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like, that's the most aggressive game I've ever played, where I actually have to like smash monsters and stuff. So those are generally the games I play. But my husband also plays games, and he plays, shoot, what's it called? I don't know. He's like a little magician dude who runs around and flies around on dragons and stuff, and he plays games like that in Minecraft and things. And then our kid really likes trying to help us play all of the games. So we set up a little game station for the whole family to play games together, because I foresee that being a very important family cultural sort of thing for us. So I have a desk that's all red. My husband has one that's all blue. I think I did yellow for the kid in this house. He has a lot of favorite colors, generally anything just bright and vibrant, which I mean makes sense, he's 5. So lots of yellow for him in this house, and then an extra desk as well for friends or family to come play games with us and whatever. So that was our sort of front room, is just a family game room, because again, I see that being a nice thing for our family. It'd be nice to be able to have that someday. Will they have it real life? Don't know, but this is The Sims, who cares? So got that all set up. And then I did the main floor guest room, which is important to us to have a guest room, again, if at all possible. Since we do have a significant amount of family out of state or in state, but a fair drive away. So just making sure that that's an option. So my sister could come stay with us, or our in-laws from out of state could come stay with us, or our, other family that's further away. And again, having it on the first floor because grandparents and stairs don't mix well. So that was an important thing for me to put together there. Just trying to go for like cozy, comfortable. It doesn't feel too sterile. Like I didn't want to just throw a bunch of IKEA furniture in there. Definitely went to a few antique stores to fill that one out. And converted the single bathroom into 2 separate bathrooms. I thought that would be a smart choice, so that the guest bedroom, assuming that we're able to keep it full fairly frequently, that would just have an attached bathroom. That seemed like a nice thing to do, and then doing a half bath with laundry in the hallway there. Nice central location in the house, seemed like a good move to me there. And I think that's, oh no, and then there's the kitchen, right. So that room, kitchen, yes. So then the kitchen, I did opt to convert one of the kitchens into dining, and then the other kitchen would stay a kitchen. And I went back and forth on tile choices a lot, because I prefer to have tile in the kitchen. I just also hate like every single tile option in the game, and I'm not a fan of a lot of the wallpapers either. And I touched on this earlier. That's why I ended up going with a significant amount of beige in this house, a lot more than I may usually go for, but like I kind of felt trapped with the beige, just because I have so many colors and patterns that I really like in real life, and they're just not really in The Sims. Or I didn't feel like the patterns that I liked in The Sims would translate well over into this home, where I'm trying to, yes, have some more modern, up-to-date elements, but overall keep it very comfortable, keep it very family, keep it classic, pulling different furniture pieces from multiple different eras and all that stuff. That was the vibe I was going for, so I didn't want to pull anything too contemporary or bring in too many contemporary items, because I didn't want that to sort of sterilize the environment. Now, looking at this, I'm also thinking about how annoying it would be to dust all these crooks and nooks and crannies, crooks and nannies. Who cares? Anyway, I'm cleaning, whatever. It's a part of life. So I ended up going with plaster walls in the kitchen instead. We can just pretend that they're tiles. How about that? Also, I love that green color. You guys know I love it. A lot of you love it as well. And it's generally not advised to do green walls in food spaces, because the green light can't, or the light will bounce off the green walls. So it'd be a better way to put that. the light will bounce off the green walls and create a weird lighting color on your food, which can make it appear less appetizing. You know, if your rice has a slight green tint to it, that could be a little bit unsettling. So I recognize that, like, overall, having a green kitchen may not be the best move, but I did go for it anyway because this is my house. And if it's really that big of a deal, you know what, we'll deal with it. We'll figure it out. We'll switch over to some different light bulbs to balance it out. I don't know, but we're going with green kitchen. Also, it's just walls. Like, I didn't go for full green with the cabinets and everything. Ended up sticking with some darker tone wood cabinets in there. I also did temporarily think about, instead of doing the attached bath on the guest room, adding a pantry, but ended up deciding to do sort of in-kitchen pantry instead, and just having a hecking ton of cabinets. I think that that'll fit my goals better long term anyway. The more stuff you sort of have all in the same space, the harder it is to forget what you have where in the house. So decided to go with that, especially since we don't have a basement here. Then, I mean, we also have, like, the dining room. So the dining room is the other kitchen, so it's a pretty big dining room. I ended up restoring a fireplace in there. I did actually, believe it or not, think through a lot of my fireplace stuff. At one point, I put an electric fireplace in the game room, for example, just because I didn't want to have actual fire in the same room as thousands of dollars worth of computer equipment. That just didn't feel safe. So I was thinking more of an electric fireplace where you could turn the heater on or off. Anyway, so I did restore several fireplaces. I changed a couple of them to be blocked off. For example, in the video game room, which is coming up, or again, I don't know where you're at in the video, but like the video game room or the kids' bedroom, I blocked those fireplaces off. Like, I kept a mantle and stuff and I painted it and whatever, but I didn't want to have actual fire in those spaces for safety, you know? It just didn't seem like a good idea. My kid is 5 years old. He does not need a fireplace. He's not a sickly Victorian child. He is robust. He's healthy, and he likes fire. He is my child. So, no fireplace there, right? Anyway, back to the dining room. So, restored a fireplace in the dining room. Took me forever to pick a wallpaper. Ended up going with green again. And then just trying to balance what I like and what I would actually want in my house. What's important there with what's actually available in the game. Because ideally, I would love to have natural wood finish paneling and or baseboards and the crown molding matching through the whole house. Have that matching, have a picture rail. I want to have all my doors matching. Like, that is a big deal to me. I really like that look. I much prefer it to, like, weird pressed wood, barely painted like baseboards and stuff we have here. I prefer it to 1x6s just painted white. However, we don't have separate molding systems in this game. I believe House Flipper does, which is lovely for them. Therefore, we know it's possible. But we don't have that option here, which is really a bummer. I would love it if they could work that into our, like, frieze and floor trim section, so you could still trim out room by room with the matching trims, but actually have the matching trims and the paneling, and then just have the base wall texture. Oh, that would be so nice. That'd be lovely. Maybe still a few novelty items that could come with different packs and whatever, but, like, oh my goodness, can you imagine actually having matching paneling through the whole house? Because if you have furniture, you want paneling on the walls to protect them from the furniture moving around, right? Like the couches and the chairs and dining room furniture and stuff. I'm going sidetracked again. Anyway, so decisions were made. And I just did the best I could with what I had and what I'd reasonably possibly want in the house. So, dining room. I also did go for slightly more casual chairs, but I liked the idea of having the chairs all be a different color but the same shape. I just, because that way like, oh, my chair is this chair, and you sort of get a little bit of your own thing, individuality, but also all the same. It's finding that balance. I only have one kid, but still, it can be really important to make sure that you're figuring out where's the tipping point between keeping the individual versus functioning within a system. So the dining chairs being different colors is my way of figuring that out, I guess. Because like right now, all of our chairs pretty much look the same, but some of them wobble differently than others. A couple of them have like more splinters on the back that we haven't been able to sand off yet. Or like we're in the process of sanding off and then more showed up. Anyway, so like those go in the corner and we don't touch those with our little fingers. Stuff like that. Different color chairs are helpful. like, I think about weird stuff. I recognize that. Now, for a lot of you, that's why you're here. If you're newer to the channel, hi, welcome to my brain. There are probably 7,000 other things that you guys think are more important in a dining room, and I definitely respect those decisions. However, this is where we're at today. So anyway, after the dining room is... Well, I think the room I did after the dining room was actually the game room, the video game room. So we have like the computer game room, but then I also wanted a separate movie room, and I thought that using the old office space, you know, from this very old house that I've just purchased, would be a good way to do that. So I blocked off the fireplace, took forever to pick a wall color. And also I'm trying to remember, like, my husband lives here too, and his tastes are different than mine, so I'm trying to incorporate some of that. So I was trying to bring in some blues and stuff because I expect he would spend a lot of time in there. We both enjoy a lot of the same things, which is really nice to have so many hobbies in common, but also some of us like take the lead more in certain hobbies, and he's introduced me to the world of video games, really. So I was trying to bring in more blues and more of the shapes and stuff that he likes in there. Also built up a bunch of bookshelves. That was like a big thing I wanted. I wanted the big television so we could all watch movies and play games together, and I wanted a big bookshelf to store all of that physical media because, you know, streaming is renting and you don't have that forever, and there are some pieces of media that are just lost to history now due to not having access to physical, like, reliable access to physical copies. So yeah, so we're gonna have our full, I'm gonna find the full original unedited Star Wars trilogy, right? Convert that to DVD and have a physical copy of that. We'd like to have the full extended Lord of the Rings set, which we actually already have. There are a lot of family favorite films that we'd like to have. I, of course, need my Doctor Who. Like, we need our physical media library. So that's there, plus, like, probably books as well. And don't worry, there are more bookshelves coming. There are so many more bookshelves coming. So don't worry about that. If you're like, this is not enough bookshelf space, I hear you. Stress not. There shall be more. It did take me a while to figure out other arrangements in there, and I added board games as well. We don't really have a lot of board game items. Like, I'm pretty sure we, in our little china cabinet, have more board games than are totally available in The Sims, even across the different swatches. So just pretend some of those books are board games too, okay? That's like our game storage room. Whether or not board games will be played in that room or brought out to the dining room, I suppose would depend on the exact occasion, but I did put a table in there, I think, to allow for all sorts of games to be played in the game room. So that was fun to put together. Oh, also there are not red buffalo beanbags, but there are some buffalo print beanbags, so I just picked a couple of those. After that room, then I think that's when I put together my office space. So I decided to have my office on the main floor and husband's office upstairs. So we both work from home to varying degrees, right? And my office definitely doesn't quite fit the vibe of the like the rest of the house, but I've always sort of had a specific idea for what I want my space to look like. I definitely want to lean more industrial with it because I really love neon lights, and something about late Victorian and neon just doesn't mix well in my brain. Now, if any of you can figure out how to do it, please let me know. You can tag me on most social platforms, although I forget about Instagram constantly, and I honestly don't even remember my Twitter login. But anyway, I'm around technically, and if you figure out how to mix neon lights with, like, Craftsman, late Victorian, like, if you can get all those to look good together, please let me know. But I haven't figured it out yet. So I went a little bit more on the industrial. I got the bricks, I've got the metal shelves. So that's what that's what I dream of my backdrop being. Possibly a couple of fish tanks in there as well, but, like, you know, a collection of items that are important to me or inside jokes from the channel or stuff on some shelves and the neon lights. I want just a big old roof of purple neon. I think that'd be delightful. So that's what I was trying to go for in that office. Also, 2 desks, one for the permanent setup of streaming and a separate laptop or iPad or something so that I can do my doodles and work on Pinterest pages upstairs, downstairs, inside, outside, like wherever, a little bit of a portable unit as well. Because, you know, in my wildest dreams, I'm getting all this electronic stuff sponsored through, you know, somebody anyway, so why not? Why not spend all this money that nobody actually has? Also, forgive me, my congestion is getting worse the longer I'm recording, but I want to get through the voiceover so that I can record the video. And I could wait till tomorrow to finish recording, but, like, tomorrow is not guaranteed. There's just as much chance I'll feel better tomorrow as worse. I could wake up with literally no voice, and wouldn't that suck? So we're just gonna power through together, so apologies. Anyway, I think, yeah, so now we're on to the backyard a little bit. I wanted to do chickens. I can't eat chickens or eggs, but what I can maybe do, we haven't tested this yet because it can be hard to source. I can't eat chicken, but I can have turkey, and I can't have duck. So we're thinking maybe the higher fat birds are the problem, and I think quail are lower fat, or at least they're like not as closely related. So we've been thinking about looking into that, and if I'm not allergic to quail and quail eggs, or at least not yet, that could be really nice. So just pretend the chickens are quails. Okay, small flower beds, probably grow some beets. I love beets, but they're so expensive at the store, like 9 months out of the year. So anyway, small garden though, something that I can manage. I wanted a fire pit because fire, enough said. I don't remember if I actually put a bar outside. I wanted one, but I think I went for more separate tables so that we could have like friends over outside and stuff. Did a hot tub, did some other little things on the back deck there, so just a handful of items, a nice cozy little backyard. Oh, and swings. Swings are very important. Swings are very important to this family as well. So, also kept the pond. I know I have a small child, but children are only young for so long, and eventually they do learn water safety. So that'll be fine. We'll keep the pond. And then when I went back inside, I think the next room I did was husband's office. So Tech, you may know, I reference him as Tech frequently. That's his like gamer tag or whatever. Tech Whiz some number, I forget the number. So he actually does work in IT. He works from home. It's hit and miss. It depends on what else is going on at work. You know, projects be projecting. But he does have a home office currently, and we'd like to keep that. But I thought I'd put him upstairs, because then if the kid and I are spending most of our time downstairs, also I would have a door at the bottom of the stairs, but you can't really do that in The Sims because it gets in the way and it's stupid. So we can close the door, and then he can work upstairs, nice, quiet, separate office, away from whatever shenanigans the child and I are getting into at that time, right? So I did put his office upstairs for that reason. And you'll see I did lean more into some more of the contemporary stuff up there. I did still give him a nice wallpaper because I couldn't not. But you notice the office chair and the general desk and the shelves. I DIY'd some industrial shelves. They didn't actually stay, which sucks. I don't know why they didn't, but when I went into playtest, half the stuff was gone. I don't know, very annoying, but you need really sturdy shelves to store all of the computer stuff, as we've learned recently. So yeah, but I DIY'd some shelves. I did let him keep his fireplace, a nice little comfy chair there. I did give him another coffee machine as well, just, you know, the man needs coffee. So just try to give him a nice, like, office but living room but workshop sort of thing upstairs. So did put a fair amount of thought into that. I showed it to him in person. I was like, here's your office, honey. What do you think about it? And he liked it, I think. We're gonna go with he liked it. That's headcanon. He liked it for sure. Absolutely. So we're going with that. What do we do next? I think bathrooms are after that. So upstairs bathroom, one family bathroom, one attached bathroom that we walk through a closet to get through, because that just seemed to make the most sense, like floor plan wise. And then for the bedroom, gosh, it took me forever to pick a color scheme for the bedroom. I knew that I wanted it relatively dark because we all sleep better in darker spaces, and it's not like we spend time in there, you know, you go there, you sleep, you wake up, you put clothes on, you leave. So it didn't have to be anything too spectacular. And I'm just saying, I know I'm not the best at interior design, but I feel like I would be a lot better if I could actually match the baseboards and crown moldings between the wallpapers. Wouldn't that be nice? I did end up using the Decor to the Max, like, wall panel things to frame out the wallpaper, so that was able to connect the different wallpapers and stuff. And again, going for more of the blue and black in here, because I've taken over most of the house with my greens and my browns, and I wanted to give my husband something that he would like, but still bring in a little bit of my personal tastes, right? So the vintage wallpaper, very nice. A little bit more modern bedspread, though, and a little bit more toned down color palette there. Also, we've talked for a while about like getting a massage table and taking couples massage classes together. It hasn't happened yet, but it is a combined goal. So, you know, with all of our free time that we have in The Sims, because #motherload, maybe we could finally do that. So I did put a massage table in there. We kept our fireplace. I took forever to figure out what chair I wanted to put at the end of the bed, but like, well, what else is new? Added some curtains. I think, oh, I did put a bar up here. That's right, just a little one that probably locks, right? Keep it away from the child, because you never know what kids be doing. So just I just, it's like nothing too exciting, but we don't need anything too exciting happening here. Also, I kind of wish that there were more family portrait type pictures in the paintings. I understand that you can literally take pictures of your Sims families. Nobody has time for that. I want cute little family pictures that I can pretend are of the family that lives there. I want more options for that. We have clusters of frames of individual faces, and we have a few like single frames of individual faces and a couple of family things, but like I want a whole family. Let's see. What happened after that? Ooh, after that, husband came home from work and I was like, hey, look at this. I'm going to show you your office and whatever. Somehow he helped me figure out what to actually do with the hallway downstairs because I've been stuck on this because I didn't want the wall in the middle, but I couldn't think of what to do with it because if I just got rid of it and left it as a hallway, that's a 4-tile hallway and that is way too much hallway. But I think he asked something about bookshelves and I was like, oh, that's what I can do downstairs. So the hallway turned into, I put a beam down the middle to like, it's still a load-bearing wall probably. I don't know, stuff. So I put in more bookshelves. I added a piano because that's also a hobby that I almost said 4 of us. There's not 4 of us. All 3 of us have in common. We all enjoy playing the piano. So I put a piano in there and I put the bookshelves in there and I got some of those cool fish lanterns from, I think it's For Rent. Just because I love a funky wall piece, or like lighting piece, we all know that. So I put all that downstairs. So now the hallway is functional space, but also still a functional hallway. I added some more bookshelves upstairs too. So I promised you more bookshelves were coming. And here they are. Behold, so many bookshelves. So we've got bookshelves in the game room, we've got bookshelves in the hallway, and we've got bookshelves in the hallway upstairs because it was also a 2 tile. So now it's like a 1.5 tile hallway functionally. After I did all that, I went over to the kids' room. Again, I did block the fireplace off because he's 5. And I think I've talked to you guys about this before. In the event of us purchasing a home, I do intend to start a second channel like Sam IRL or something, I don't know, and actually document like what I'm doing inside the house. However, I'm not going to really be bringing you inside the kids' room because that's his private space. However, the one thing I may do, like before we actually move in all his stuff and whatever, is show you my plans for the floor, because with him being such a little guy, right, stuff happens. I love hardwood, and if I got peel and stick carpet tiles, I could make a little cityscape on the floor, and then he could play with all of his trucks, and like he's into fire trucks and school buses right now. He could play with those, and I added a little bit of a lake for all his sharks to live in, and like this is a goal that I have. So in the event we have a home and I am actually able to follow through on this, I will probably show you guys that. Here's a little preview in The Sims. And then I wanted to give him some storage, and I don't know if I actually put in a dresser. I don't think I did. I just put in those kids' room shelves because we're going to pretend that one of them is a dresser because they just fit together so nicely. So yeah, some toy storage, some seating, little bedroom space, all that good stuff. And then I think that was the last room. And after that, I just had to do terrain paint and a little bit of landscaping. Not too much landscaping because, again, I have problems. I'm frail. I'm a weak old lady. I did put in some shrubs and I put in lavender. My husband really likes lavender. Happy for him. Happy that he has a favorite flower. I don't. But I think it's partly due to my whole, like, smells are more intense for me than they maybe should be. So I just have a hard time with floral fragrances in general. But he really likes lavender, so I gave him some lavender. So that's me trying to, balance the needs of the various household individuals. I also put some elm trees in the yard. I would like some fruit trees, probably apple trees. And I know that there are trees like in the game, but they don't look good, because they die and the game is dumb and it just puts them back to seedlings and whatever. So for the sake of pretending, I put the elm trees in and just resized them a little bit and whatever and put them in the yard. And then, like, real life, we'd have some apples, probably, would be my guess, because I know how to process those and can them. And, like, some years you get a buttload of apples, and some years you don't get a lot of apples. So you want to have a couple so that they can, like, cross-pollinate and be healthy and all that jazz. So we're going to pretend that that's what those are. It seems fair to me. I think I put, let's see. Oh, that's one thing. So I did playtest in a way. Hopefully at this point in the video, you're seeing the, like, playtest footage because I'm running out of things to say. I did playtest, and not everything is functional. For example, I keep forgetting that you can't put telescopes on decks. They don't work on decks. You literally have to put them out in the open. Like, they can't have any sort of cover over them. So I put a telescope on the covered deck, oops. So it's like that doesn't work. But aside from that, I believe everything works, or at least everything works to the point where it shouldn't affect your gameplay. So if you do actually want to play in this house, it is available on the gallery. I think I called it Renovated Family Shotgun. I don't know. It'll be down below in the video description. I forgot to check again before I recorded this segment. Whoopsie doopsie. So that's hopefully down there. Let's see, what all is down in the video description? Let me think about that for a second. On your way down, if you could click like on the video, I would really appreciate that. I haven't posted in a while, so if you could help me help the algorithm get this out to everybody who may be wondering where I've been, I would really appreciate that. So thank you very much for doing that. In the video description, you will see the lot titles. I will also link the upcoming birthday stream. We're also doing the 100 Baby Challenge in Planet Zoo right now, so you should totally check that out. The live streams just take so much less energy. Like, the amount of energy spent versus content produced, vastly different. Also, because I'm stuck home a lot due to all these health problems, I get to actually talk to adults, which is super exciting for me. So come join a live stream. It's great. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say, hopefully you're still here, is to all of the channel members, thank you for being here. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Also, as I'm not really able to uphold my end of the contract right now, if you just cancel your membership, even if you never come back, if you're just like, this isn't worth it because you're not producing the content I am paying to see, I do not hold that against you at all. I'm shocked so many of you have stayed. I appreciate it very much. So if you decide to leave, I understand that. I don't hold it against you at all. I just wanted to like put that out there real quick. So there's a thing. If there was anything else I was supposed to say, I'll put it down below in the video description. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I hope you enjoyed going on this little house renovation dream of mine, virtually. Maybe we'll do it in real life someday. Who knows at this point? Just trying to find the joy in every day that I'm able to, and you guys are a huge part of that. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for building with me today, and I hope to be back building with you guys again very soon. Bye!